Welcome, listener, to the psychology of money. I'm so glad you're here, ready to explore one of the most fascinating and transformative topics of our time: how we think about money, how it shapes our lives, and how we can master its psychological pull to live richer, fuller lives. This isn't just another book about budgets or investments, though we'll touch on those. This is about the invisible forces that drive your financial decisions, the hidden beliefs that shape your relationship with money, and the mindset shifts that can lead you to true financial freedom. So, settle in, take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey together. Money. It's one of the most powerful forces in our lives, isn't it? It's more than just paper, coins, or numbers on a screen. Money is emotion. It's fear, hope, greed, security, and everything in between. It's the late-night worry about bills, the thrill of a new purchase, the pride of a growing savings account, or the sting of a bad investment. But here's the thing: money doesn't control us. Our thoughts about money do. And that's what we're here to unpack: the psychology behind how we earn, spend, save, and invest, and how we can align our financial choices with the life we truly want. Let's start with a simple truth. No one is born knowing how to manage money. Not the billionaire investor, not the frugal retiree, not even the financial advisor you see on TV. We all learn through experience, through trial and error, and sometimes through painful mistakes. And yet, society often makes us feel like we should have it all figured out, like there's some secret formula to wealth that everyone else knows except us. But here's the good news: you don't need to be a math genius or a Wall Street wizard to get money right. You just need to understand yourself, your habits, your emotions, and the stories you tell yourself about what money means. Think about it for a moment. What's your earliest memory of money? Maybe it was watching your parents pay for groceries or getting a crisp dollar bill from a grandparent. Maybe it was the first time you realized you couldn't afford something you really wanted. Those early moments stick with us, don't they? They shape how we see money, whether it's a tool for freedom, a source of stress, or a measure of success. And those beliefs formed when we were young follow us into adulthood, quietly influencing every financial decision we make. So, let's pause and ask, what's your money story? What beliefs about money are guiding you right now? Are they helping you or holding you back? One of the biggest myths about money is that it's all about numbers, balance sheets, budgets, percentages. It's easy to think that if you just crunch the numbers right, you'll win the money game. But numbers are only half the story. The other half is behavior. Your behavior, my behavior, the way we act when we're tempted by a sale, or when the stock market dips, or when we get a raise. Behavior is what separates those who thrive financially from those who struggle, no matter how much they earn. And the beautiful thing is, behavior is something we can understand and change. Let's talk about one of the most powerful drivers of financial behavior: fear. Fear is universal, isn't it? Fear of not having enough. Fear of missing out. Fear of making a mistake. When it comes to money, fear can make us do crazy things. It can make us hoard cash under the mattress or chase risky investments because everyone else is doing it. It can keep us up at night, worrying about what might happen if we lose our job or the market crashes. But here's the secret: fear doesn't have to control you. Once you recognize it, you can start to manage it. You can learn to pause, to breathe, and to make decisions from a place of clarity instead of panic. Imagine this for a moment. You're at a crossroads. You've just gotten a bonus at work, and you're deciding what to do with it. One voice in your head says, spend it. You deserve that vacation, that new gadget, that fancy dinner. Another voice says, save it. Invest it. What if you need it later? Which voice do you listen to? Most of us have felt that tug of war, haven't we? It's not just about the money, it's about what the money represents. Joy, security, status, freedom. The choice you make in that moment isn't just financial, it's psychological. It's a reflection of your values, your fears, and your vision for the future. So, how do we make better choices? Let's start with a principle that's deceptively simple. Wealth is what you don't see. That's right. True wealth isn't the flashy car in the driveway or the designer bag on your arm. Those are visible, but they're not wealth. Wealth is the money you haven't spent. It's the savings account quietly growing, the investments compounding over time, the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're prepared for whatever life throws at you. In a world obsessed with showing off, it's easy to forget that the most powerful financial moves are the ones no one else sees. This brings us to one of the most liberating ideas about money. You don't need to keep up with anyone else. Not your neighbour, not your co-worker, not the influencers on social media. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your focus, and often your money. When you're constantly measuring yourself against others, you're playing a game you can't win. Because there will always be someone with more, a bigger house, a nicer car, a fancier vacation. But here's the truth, their wealth doesn't diminish yours. Their success doesn't mean your failure. The only person you need to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Let's take a moment to reflect. Think about a time when you spent money to impress someone, or to feel better about yourself. Maybe it was a purchase you regretted later, or maybe it felt good in the moment. Now ask yourself, was it worth it? Did it bring you the happiness you expected? For most of us, the answer is no. That's because money can buy things, but only you can create meaning. The real joy comes from aligning your money with your values, whether that's spending on experiences with loved ones, saving for a dream, or giving to a cause you care about. Now, let's talk about something that trips up even the smartest people, the illusion of control. We like to think we can control our financial future, that if we just pick the right stocks, time the market perfectly, or follow the perfect budget, we'll be set. But life doesn't work that way. Markets are unpredictable. Jobs change. Unexpected expenses pop up. The sooner we accept that we can't control everything, the better we can prepare for uncertainty. That's where flexibility comes in. It's not about having all the answers, it's about building a financial life that can bend without breaking. One way to do this is by embracing the power of simplicity. Complexity feels sophisticated, doesn't it? Complicated investment strategies, endless spreadsheets, a dozen different bank accounts. It's tempting to think that more is better. But complexity often leads to confusion, and confusion leads to mistakes. The most successful financial plans are often the simplest. Save consistently, spend less than you earn, invest for the long term, and avoid debt that doesn't serve a purpose. Simple doesn't mean easy. It takes discipline. But it's a path that anyone can follow. Speaking of discipline, let's talk about the magic of time. Time is your greatest ally when it comes to building wealth. Thanks to the miracle of compound interest, even small amounts saved or invested today can grow into something extraordinary over time. Imagine planting a tiny seed in your backyard. At first, it's just a sprout, barely noticeable. But with water, sunlight, and years of care, it grows into a towering tree. That's how wealth works. It's not about making a fortune overnight. It's about starting small, staying consistent, and letting time do the heavy lifting. But here's where psychology comes in again. Staying consistent is hard. Life gets in the way. Temptations arise. Doubt creeps in. That's why it's so important to create systems that make good decisions automatic. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account. Enroll in a retirement plan that invests a portion of your paycheck before you even see it. These small habits might not feel glamorous, but they're the building blocks of financial freedom. They take the pressure off your willpower and let you focus on living your life. Now, let's address something we all face: the temptation to chase quick wins, the hot stock tip, the get-rich-quick scheme, the promise of easy money. It's human nature to want results now, isn't it? But the pursuit of quick wins is like chasing a mirage. It looks promising from a distance, but it disappears when you get close. True wealth is built slowly, deliberately, through choices that might feel boring in the moment, but pay off in the long run. The next time you're tempted by a shortcut, ask yourself, is this a decision I'll be proud of in 10 years? Let's shift gears and talk about risk. Risk is a word that scares a lot of people, especially when it comes to money. But risk isn't something to avoid. It's something to understand. Every financial decision involves risk, whether it's investing in the stock market, starting a business, or even keeping your money in a savings account. The key is to take smart risks, ones that align with your goals and your tolerance for uncertainty. And here's a secret. The biggest risk isn't losing money. It's letting fear stop you from taking action at all. One of the best ways to manage risk is diversification. You've probably heard the phrase, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." It's a cliché for a reason. It works. Spreading your money across different investments, industries, or even goals reduces the chance that one bad outcome will derail your entire financial plan. But diversification isn't just about investments, it's about your life. Having multiple sources of income, skills, or even hobbies can make you more resilient, financially and emotionally. Let's pause for a moment and think about what financial resilience means to you. Does it mean having enough savings to cover 6 months of expenses? Being debt-free? Knowing you could weather a job loss or a medical emergency? Whatever it means to you, resilience starts with clarity. It's about knowing where you stand, what you value, and what you're working toward. So take a moment to ask yourself, what would make me feel financially secure? And what's one step I could take today to get closer to that goal? Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked, the role of luck. Yes, luck. We don't like to admit it, but luck plays a part in every financial journey. A chance meeting that leads to a job, a market boom that boosts your investments, an unexpected expense that sets you back. Acknowledging luck doesn't diminish your hard work, it just keeps you humble. It reminds you to stay grateful for the wins and compassionate toward yourself and others when things don't go as planned. This brings us to one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make. Focusing on what you can control. You can't control the stock market. You can't control the economy. You can't control whether your boss gives you a raise. But you can control how much you save, how much you spend, and how you react to setbacks. When you focus on what's in your hands, you reclaim your power. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start feeling like the architect of your future. Let's talk about spending for a moment, because it's where so many of us get tripped up. Spending feels good, doesn't it? That rush of buying something new, whether it's a coffee or a car, can light up our brains like a fireworks show. But here's the catch. Spending doesn't always equal happiness. In fact, studies show that after our basic needs are met, more money and more stuff doesn't make us much happier. What does? Experiences, relationships, purpose. When you spend money on things that align with your values, like a trip with friends or a class to learn a new skill, you're investing in your happiness, not just your bank account. But let's be real. It's easy to fall into the trap of mindless spending. We've all done it, swiping a card without thinking, clicking buy now because it's on sale, or upgrading to the latest gadget just because it's shiny. The antidote? Awareness. Before you make a purchase, pause and ask yourself, why am I buying this? Is it a want or a need? Will it matter to me in a month, a year, a decade? These simple questions can help you break the cycle of impulsive spending and make choices that feel good long after the dopamine hit fades. Now, let's talk about saving. Saving is the unsung hero of financial success. It's not sexy, it's not exciting, but it's the foundation of everything else. Saving gives you options. It gives you freedom. It gives you the ability to say yes to opportunities and no to things that don't serve you. But saving isn't just about putting money in a bank account. It's about building a mindset of delayed gratification. It's about choosing the future you over the impulsive you. And trust me, your future self will thank you. One of the best ways to save is to pay yourself first. Before you pay your bills, before you buy that latte, set aside a portion of your income for your future. Even if it's just $10 a week, it adds up. And here's a pro tip. Don't just save for the sake of saving. Give your savings a purpose. Maybe it's an emergency fund, a down payment on a house, or a dream vacation. When your savings have meaning, it's easier to stay motivated. Let's talk about investing, because it's where the psychology of money really comes alive. Investing can feel intimidating, can't it? All those charts, terms, and predictions, it's enough to make anyone's head spin. But here's the truth. You don't need to be an expert to invest well. You just need to start. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. And the key to successful investing? It's not about picking the next big stock or timing the market perfectly. It's about consistency, patience, and staying the course even when things get rocky. One of the biggest mistakes investors make is letting emotions drive their decisions. When the market soars, we feel invincible and want to buy more. When it crashes, we panic and want to sell everything. But emotions are a terrible guide for investing. The best investors are the ones who stay calm, stick to their plan, and focus on the long term. So, the next time you're tempted to react to a headline or a market dip, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's talk about debt for a moment, because it's a topic that weighs heavily on so many of us. Debt can feel like a ball and chain, can't it? It's not just the dollars and cents. It's the stress, the shame, the feeling of being trapped. But not all debt is bad. A mortgage on a home you can afford, or a student loan for a degree that boosts your earning potential. These can be tools for building a better future. The key is to borrow intentionally, not impulsively. And if you're struggling with debt, know this. You're not alone and you're not defined by it. Every step you take to pay it down is a step toward freedom. One of the most powerful things you can do for your financial future is to educate yourself. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to money. You don't need a finance degree, just a willingness to learn. Read books, listen to podcasts, ask questions. The more you understand about how money works, the less it will intimidate you. And the less it intimidates you, the more confident you'll feel making decisions that align with your goals. Let's talk about goals for a moment. What are yours? Maybe you want to retire early, travel the world, start a business, or leave a legacy for your kids. Whatever your goals are, they're valid. But here's the thing. Goals without a plan are just wishes. To turn your dreams into reality, you need to break them down into small, actionable steps. Want to save for a house? Figure out how much you need and work backward to see how much you can save each month. Want to retire early? Calculate what you'll need and start investing now. The clearer your plan, the easier it is to stay focused. Now, let's address something we don't talk about enough, the emotional side of money. Money isn't just about numbers, it's about feelings. Guilt over spending, pride in saving, anxiety about the future. These emotions are normal, but they can cloud our judgment if we let them. The key is to acknowledge them without letting them take the wheel. When you feel anxious about money, ask yourself, what's driving this? Is it a real concern, or is it fear-talking? By naming your emotions, you take away their power and give yourself room to make clear-headed decisions. Let's talk about generosity for a moment, because it's one of the most powerful ways to transform your relationship with money. Giving, whether it's to a charity, a friend in need, or a cause you believe in, reminds you that money is a tool, not a goal. It shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to be rich to be generous. Even small acts of giving can create a ripple effect of joy and connection. So ask yourself, how can I use my money to make a difference, no matter how small? As we near the end of our journey together, let's talk about what it all comes down to. Freedom. At its core, that's what money is about. Not stuff, not status. Freedom. Freedom to live the life you want, to pursue your passions, to weather life's storms without fear. But freedom doesn't come from having more money. It comes from having a healthy relationship with it. It comes from knowing what's enough, from making choices that align with your values, and from letting go of the need to prove yourself through your bank account. So, as we close, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take one step today, just one, that moves you closer to financial freedom. Maybe it's setting up a savings plan. Maybe it's paying off a small debt. Maybe it's having an honest conversation with yourself about what money means to you. Whatever it is, make it intentional. Make it yours. Because the psychology of money isn't about getting rich quick or outsmarting the system. It's about understanding yourself, mastering your choices, and building a life that's rich in every sense of the word. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you found inspiration, clarity, and a renewed sense of possibility. Your financial future is in your hands, not because of how much you have, but because of how you think about it. So, go out there and make it count.